Roman's reign is over. I cannot believe it. I absolutely cannot. After 3.5 years, Roman's reign has come to an end. Cody Rhodes has finished his story. Good evening from Swansea, everyone. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast the night after WrestleMania 40 Sunday. And I was convinced Roman Reigns was going to win. But I always wanted Cody to win. Yeah, definitely. But unfortunately, because my prediction was wrong, I had to do a punishment last night. So let's get that out of the way. Here's my punishment.
So, as everyone has witnessed, Cody Rhodes has obviously won the WWE Universal Championship, even though we told this delusional kid that he was going to happen, and he was all saying, no, Roman is going to retain. I never said that. Check the tape. But obviously, either way, he put the bet was for him to do 100 push-ups. But obviously, he's so adamant that it was 40. We did some virtual handshake.
Hashtag check the tape.
Whatever, it's fine. So we just settled on 40. Either way, I just want to see this guy suffer. So, and yeah, no half-assed ones. Has to be full form on point, 40 push-ups.
Well, so. I'm here today. You guys I've been brought here today to do some push-ups in honor of our Homelander, the new face of WWE, Cody Rhodes, my icon, the guy who I always knew would finish his story. And I'm going to do some push-ups just for you, Cody.
Sorry for doing. All right, 40.
Yep.
Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, this is 4 a.m. in the morning as everybody. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No bad form. 17, 18, 19. Don't worry, I'm counting my head. 25. 30. Not bad. 37. 39.
40.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
That is in honor of Homelander, our great WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Hashtag, he finished the story.
You're still an asshole.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be honest. I hadn't watched that back. One, it was a lot less entertaining than 4 a.m. you thought it would be. And secondly, Homelander is the champion. I was wrong. I called Roman Reigns. His reign is over. And today we're going to talk all about it. So let me first introduce the panel. And let's kick things off with the guy who was filming that video. Chaos, you get to keep your hair.
Of course. I was that confident. I see that it was meant to be. It was written in the stars. We told you for months, and you just didn't listen. So you get what you get what you're given. So yeah, it was definitely, keep in mind, everybody, that was straight after WrestleMania. So obviously we were half dead, half buzzed, and just way go. But yeah, he did it. If anything, I made him actually do a couple extra. I think that was more than 40. So I'm even more happy there, to be fair. But yeah, we are good, of course. My man, Roman Reigns, head of the table, is no longer the champion. But yeah, like I said, it was bittersweet. And I still can't believe it. It's crazy how one title change can really affect you so much. But yeah, we're a part of history. But we're gonna go through all the matches, and I promise you guys, this is gonna be a more concise review. And yeah, you will understand no internet connection issues. No mishaps. Don't worry. You're gonna be getting an honest review from all of us. Ain't that right, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, the irony of that was, Chaos, you had internet issues the entire time throughout that while you were having a go at them for having
really? Oh,
yeah.
damn it. Epic fail. I can't tell. My bad.
But also joining us from Scotland, the man who I bet isn't happy about a certain something we'll get into. Soul, how are you, Soul?
I'm happy. I love Cody. I've been saying it for months, unlike you. Oh, the Netflix deal hasn't started yet. Oh, we need Rock and Roman at main events. We have to hold it. But it's happened. So your predictions, you have been revoked of that. So you can't do any more predictions. Also, I'm not out with 450 quid giving Chaos a title because if I did fail the plank, I'd have had to bottom the Universal title. So there, on my money point, I'm safe. But obviously, I'm not wearing my suit today because I fought for this. We got to represent the guy who finished his story. And, as I said to you guys on the stream last night as well, I think what to sum this up is Cody's finished his story. He can now begin his legacy. And again, this is just going to be a year of rewarding for people.
Yeah, I mean, you probably are right about that. And also a matching today, so I've also got my Cody shirt from LA on. We've got quite a few comments about Undertaker over on Instagram with Matthew Daniel Leahy saying, Taker took the old gent back into retirement to make way for the new era. Well, Jordy, how are you today?
I'm good. I've said it time and time again that I wanted Cody to win. I was 90% sure. There was a little bit of doubt leading up, but I'm so glad it happened. And I'm so glad as somebody who was a fan of The Rock's that he played such a integral part in the whole build-up. Like him or love or hate him, that's what happened. So yeah, man, I'm chuffed. I'm not wearing my mystical John Cena t-shirt today. I've put that back into hiding because I can't wear it all the time. I don't want him rocking up at my house. But yeah, there we go, boys. Let's talk about it. A very exciting night.
That is a real thing now, Jordy, where literally anytime you wear that shirt, John Cena is going to show up. It's a mega power. Don't overuse it.
Absolutely not, mate. It's a gift and a curse all at the same time.
With great power comes great responsibility. But let's just jump straight into the match, which kicked off night 2. And it kicked off with a bang when Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre basically had a match of 2K against each other. This was finisher, kick out, finisher, reversal, finisher, kick out. It was crazy. And I mean that in the best way. I really loved this opening contest. And Drew McIntyre finished his story. He finally won the championship in front of a crowd and was able to present it to his wife in the front row. It was all going good. And then he let himself get distracted by CM Punk. And CM Punk took him out, and Damian Priest cashed in, and we had a title change about 5 minutes after the previous title change. Damian Priest walked out as World Heavyweight Champion. But, Chaos, what did you think about this opening match and double title change?
Yeah, I mean, this one I called to a T. I just absolutely loved how it unfolded. I was surprised that was the opening match, but I wasn't complaining. Seth Rollins is very good at opening big pay-per-views and leaving with a bang. It was, like you say, it was a finisher fest, but it wasn't like Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg fest. There was some moments in there. It was amazing from start to finish. Told the story. I love the fact that McIntyre actually tweeted mid-match. Didn't end up well for him, but yeah, that was a nice little touch. The match ended. McIntyre finally got his big moment in front of 70,000 strong, and then he's made such a for the lack of a better term, a legacy of that title. He's put so much work into that title. The next person had to live up to it. It could have been McIntyre, but obviously he just got obsessed. He was obsessed with CM Punk, and that wasn't even in the match. A man that's injured, he's on the injury list. He was so adamant to really because we thought that when he won, I thought he was going to fit Black, but the camera went straight to his face, and we thought, okay, so that was going to happen. We thought, okay, it's going to fade to black next match. He just looked over to Punk. He just had to do this creepy thing, just waving the title in his face. Obviously, Punk. He says he basically, in his own ways, it's like if y'all handle it, I'm gonna handle it, and you ain't gonna like it. That's what he did. And then, of course, the big clue was that he had the brace on, like because during the whole weekend he wasn't visible. He didn't have the brace, but all nights he had it on there, and yeah, he's pretty much had to bash his brains in with it, and of course, what better place to do it than WrestleMania, the biggest stage to cash in, do exactly what Steph did. So yeah, it all happened, and then yeah, God knows what's gonna happen. So sorry, Saul. I'm pretty sure. No, you were actually on the stream. You was actually loving it that he actually got his moment, and then 5 minutes later, I was effing jeffing. It was amazing. So yeah, right. We'll see what happens from now on, and yeah, good. Congratulations to Damian Priest, most of all, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. And you made a great point there. When this title was introduced, everybody was saying, well, they need to make it mean something. And Seth Rollins did that. And even though it hot potatoed last night, it still feels so important. And now this is Damian Priest's time. But Soul, I mean, Drew McIntyre literally had it in his hands and it was pulled away from him because of his obsession with CM Punk. What are your thoughts?
1 minute.
Oh no.
No, it's war. That's something.
Oh, screw you, CM Punk, you absolute mother. Right. I don't. I like. We could do Priest and Drew at Clash of the Castle, right? We could do that, but no. I want Punk and Drew. I don't care if Punk's got the meat hanging off of his forearm at this point. I want Drew to absolutely annihilate that son of a gun. Annihilate him. End him. Make him regret and like to come back to the land of entertainment. Please, for the love of God, just kill him, Drew. Kill him in 3 seconds flat. And who knows? I'm sure Drew's going to have plenty of material to be shooting off of his Twitter account come Wednesday. So I'm very hopeful that the Scottish Warrior will be going absolute ham on CM Punk. So yeah, he did lose, but he did get a crowning moment. As I did say again, we would be rewarding for the man. He did deserve it. But sadly, the man who hates glass and just seems to always get in trouble had to interrupt that. So fair play to him, whatever he likes to do. But come June, yeah, I think Drew McIntyre is going to absolutely annihilate not only Priest, but he's going to make Punk look like an absolute punk. Next.
But make Punk look like an absolute punk. That's a quote. Matthew Daniel Leahy is suggesting Priest versus Drew until Punk is back. Perhaps that could be the direction they go. Number one Superfly is saying the opening match was great and he can't wait to see what the Judgment Day are going to say. Could they also discuss them losing the tag belts? That's also a good point. The Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor lost the tag belts the night before Damian Priest did cash in on the world title. But what about you, Jordy? What, Kels?
No, I was gonna say, I'll wait. Let Jordy get his. I'll ask a question.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
Cheers, man. Yeah, so I just thought it was a great opener, just like everyone else. I'm glad we got a cash in, to be honest. It's great to have that kind of moment at Mania. I was sad for Drew. I thought it was going to be a failed cash in, but wrong I was, and I'm not. Like I say, I'm not angry about it. I'm a fan of Priest, and I'm so glad that the briefcase wasn't for nothing, almost, because it really did start to feel like that, and that was what I was worried about. That was why I said it had been more of a hindrance. Now, all of that, what I said in hindsight, is going to be irrelevant because he won the title at WrestleMania, so it's not been a hindrance at all. He's picked up a belt, a singular belt, a big singular belt, just as the Judgment Day have lost the tag one, so I think that's great as well. I think that then adds in a power struggle situation. I think it will be Priest and Drew in Scotland. I think it will be a bit more hot potato. I don't think Punk will maybe be fit by June. But I might be wrong. But I still think that Finn will probably end up playing a part in Damian losing this title, which will just then give more to Punk when he comes back to be able to say, you didn't even win it on your own, blah, blah, blah. Finn got involved. Do you know what I mean? So it's, so it's all about that, really. Hey, go. Bear with me a second, gents.
What is that?
I don't know. I have no idea what's happening.
The Scottish police calling you for
Yeah,
unsolved.
absolutely.
But no, I
There we
do
go.
agree.
There we go. There we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It was the spirit of John Cena. Someone must be wearing that T-shirt.
Oh no.
I know.
T-shirts come out of the attic.
Sorry about that.
Woo.
It could have been worse. It could have been the hub. It could have been the hub theme music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true.
Oh, Cinemo's Magic is saying good evening. Congratulations to our new champion, Cody Rhodes. Absolutely. We're going to be getting into that in just a little bit. Jordan Kirby saying, who enjoyed last night? We certainly did. It was an absolute delight of a night. But now, Chaos, I want to talk to you about the Final Testament versus the Street Profits, the 6-man tag team match, which I'm going to be completely honest, I just kind of thought this was a bit too chaotic. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean it in a bad way. This was just, it was just a bit all over the shop. The only thing about this night, which I didn't really like. What were your thoughts?
Hopefully my internet is back on track there, hopefully, but we'll see what else. But yeah, I honestly had very low hopes this match. I mean, on one hand, I was happy that Karrion Kross was on the Mania card. You know, as much, even though he gets a lot of slack, however, I don't think his fault is the booking. I still think he has a great presence and could be. It could, if done right, he can be a monster heel. And with a monster fin leading into this match, I couldn't give a flying. I really couldn't care. But it was for what it was fine. That little additional Snoop Dogg on commentary, like if anyone watches when he's on commentary for any Triller fights or anything like that, that guy is A1.
Yeah.
But then that definitely helped. And with Bubba Ray, with the little addition, the fact that obviously it's in Philly, it was a street fight, nice little touch. He was obviously directing them when to do the what's up and all that kind of stuff and get the tables. It was a great, awesome moment. So that was two nice additions. Watching it live or like on TV, that definitely helped. Obviously there was a couple mistakes, like we didn't realize. I think it was probably in the midst of shots, but a table broke when Kross was being put on there. And then that to like innovate in the meantime. So it was a bit confusing, but yeah, it was fine. And the Scarlett and B-Fab spot with the table thing, it just felt so choreographed. Like you see shimmy across the ropes, and then they just like, all right, ready, all right, cool, and then do the run. And then it was a bit annoying, but it was fine for what it was. This could have easily been on a kickoff if they did do a kickoff or on the SmackDown. But I'm happy that everyone got paid. They got in the card and they made the most of it. They could. So right now, I still think that the pride, I think they need to split, and I hope this feud is actually done now. I don't know what's so far Testament, but yeah, I'm just glad it's over. Hopefully, it's over for everyone involved. But yeah,
let's hope that this is just done and dusted with. Because, I've had enough of it too. But one thing which numero one Superfly has not had enough of is Snoop Dogg on commentary. He's the best. Hilarious. I agree.
He's the best. Absolute best.
I would like to see more of him on commentary at big events or something like that for sure. But guys, something that I in general just want to see less of in life is just links everywhere. Right? If I want to know where to find somebody on social media, it's nearly impossible. And I know you guys, love our content, you're Wrestling Republic, or at least I hope you do. Well, it might be a little bit difficult to know where we are on Twitter, where YouTube, all these links. It's all complicated. There's too many platforms, Twitch, Instagram, all the platforms. So we've teamed up with our good friends over at Next Level to bring you guys an easy solution. Go to nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, all linked in one place. Also, in case that wasn't enough, there's exclusive content. Plus, in case that wasn't enough, there are also giveaways on there. If you click the link right now, scroll to the bottom, you can enter a giveaway for WWE 2K24. You guys have nothing to lose. It's free. All our links are on there. It's a great app. And again, it's free. nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic. But now let's go on with the show. And I want to talk to you, Soul, because I want to bring you in to talk about AJ Styles versus LA Knight, because I'm going to be completely honest here. When I was watching this match, I didn't think it was anything special. I thought it was a fine match, but I just thought, a TV match or whatever. But I went on social media after the match and everybody's raving about it. They're all saying this was fantastic. This is AJ Styles' best WrestleMania match. So, Sol, what are your thoughts?
I thought Final Testament versus Street Profits was better than this. I was really not a fan of this. I think people like this match simply because LA Knight was in it and he's just so popular. AJ Styles' new theme also is absolutely arse. It's literally like the whole presentation, yeah, that was fine, but the actual music itself, I think it's just absolutely terrible, like pathetically levels of just generic and not a fan at all. One thing that kind of annoyed me, like this was like I kind of got shades of, Moxley versus Seth at Extreme Rules when they were, it was a blood feud over the Intercontinental title and then they just wrestled for a wee bit. That's what I got here as well. And the Slim Jim advertisement being blown up didn't really help this feud at all. I think maybe they'll run this back at Backlash in a no DQ match or something in France. Maybe they could do that. But in general, I thought this was just the worst match on the card. No real care for it. It's not something I would go back and watch. I think it's just a shame because it really does damper this whole night in general for me. It makes me wonder though, because I know AJ said at WWE World that he's looking to wrap up soon. Where can he go from here? Is he gonna I don't understand why we haven't done like an OC feud, maybe him and Carl Anderson or even Gallows, just like a little TV thing, because Carl Anderson, he can go as a single competitor, and I'm sure Gallows can as well. Why can't we take benefit of that? Because I feel like Gallows and Anderson are literally just sitting and catering, and like, who needs a guy to take a pin or a tag team to help advance the tournament? Oh, we'll do it. I need a new pool. Sure, I'll hop in and do it. But in general, LA Knight though, I think is going to be going for the US title. In personal opinion, I think that's what his next direction is, because he is way too popular to not have a title on him for merchandising, socials, and all that. Because he would really be a benefit for that. But yeah, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. If it's one or out of a trilogy or 1 out of 2, yeah, this first encounter didn't really set the blaze for me.
I mean, that is fair enough. And to be honest with you, so I do kind of agree on that. But number one Superfly is agreeing with the opinion of many, saying AJ Styles versus LA Knight was great. The only thing that sucked about it was AJ's new entrance music. I haven't actually heard it yet because I missed his entrance. But I mean, Saul, were you a fan of the new entrance music or no?
No, I mean, it sounded like, I don't know if you remember, like TNA, he had that Evil Ways theme when he was like a loner sort of thing. It felt like it was trying to mimic that, but be generic and low effort as possible. I don't know why they couldn't just lease out the theme itself. I mean, I know it's a bit of money, but you would want to do it for presentation level instead of having a theme where it's all just, it's generic music. It was kind of like Final Testament's theme. Like, how can you differentiate? Like, there was a clip of Seth at the Rumble and he was standing up like, oh, who's this? Oh, when it was the person's name revealed, because the themes are all generic and pish. Like, no one really cares. Like, we need to actually have music that identifies somebody within the first 5 seconds, right? We just have the generic music. No one's really going to care. I mean, look at it. Who's got the best theme on the WWE roster right now? It's probably Cody. It's not a Defy Rebel song. It's a licensed song by Downstain, because an actual professional bands make it. So, hey, I don't get paid the bucks to make the music. So if you want to have generic music in 101 and 2K24, on you go, son.
I mean, Soul, I actually don't disagree with you about any of that, to be brutally honest, because you are right. Presentation and the theme song, how the entrance is done production-wise, all of those things are very, very important when it comes to making a star and enhancing the talent of a wrestler, right? Because, I mean, if you wrap up a wrestler, beautifully, it will just make their in-ring product almost just feel a bit better just because they feel more like a star. But now we're going to move on because I want to get you in, Jordy, and I want to talk about this fatal 4-way United States Championship match. Logan Paul defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. This match, there was a few funny moments throughout it. Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, they were kind of trying to be friends at the start, and then halfway through they was like, we're gonna have to stop being friends now, aren't we? Yeah. And then they just started punching the absolutely living lights out of each other. It was quite entertaining, but ultimately Logan Paul would retain the US belt. But what are your thoughts, Jordy?
Man, I thought this was a great match yet again. For one of the mid-card titles, like last year, we had Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus, and put on a banger of a triple threat match. And then this year, we've seen a completely different match, but still a very, very good match that held up and held its own on what was a night very teed up. And I think it was quite hard, unless you were the opener. I think it was going to be quite hard for all these guys to put on something that people really cared loads about when you had the main event there, and you know, everyone's so invested in that and almost waiting for it. But these guys really delivered. Obviously, the reveal of Speed. I know not everybody knows who he was, but I do know who he is. So that did give me a cheap laugh. The Randy coming down on the golf cart with Kevin, that, like, it was fun. It was good fun, but yeah, it didn't take away from what was still technically a very good match when you actually looked at it. Logan once again on the biggest stage of them all, showing why he does belong in WWE. Throughout the build-up as well, we've actually seen him have a run. I mentioned this a week ago or so. We have actually seen him have a run on SmackDown now. It's not just, I'm going to rock up at a PLE, have a match, and then disappear again, and then show up 2 months before SummerSlam. But so I'm excited to see where he goes. I agree with Saul. I think the way he should go is towards LA Knight. I think they've got an amazing feud in them that's kind of been teased since way back at Money in the Bank, or the SmackDown before Money in the Bank and during the Money in the Bank match. So I think there's legs there. So yeah, I'm excited. I thought it was a great match. Man, the height that Logan got on that splash at the end was just great. I thought it was amazing as it happened, and then they slowed it down for a replay, and I was just like, incredible. Yeah, so Randy and Kevin, no doubt, hopefully they're going to spin off into a feud. There's nothing better than a feud that doesn't necessarily need a title for many reasons, for the sake of the company and for our sake as fans to know that. And same with AJ and LA. I agree with Saul again there. I think that's probably going to get run back at Backlash. I don't know whether this will. Maybe something. Maybe like a 6-man tag, I feel like, with Logan, Grayson, and Theory against Randy, Kevin, and someone. I don't know who that person may be, but yeah, I honestly feel like Logan and A-Town Down Under, because potentially there's going to be no world champion on SmackDown now, are going to have this angle where they think they run the show because there's no one that outranks them. So.
Well, it is quite interesting, though, right, that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory won the belts on Saturday. It felt quite random when that happened, and that's why I'm now thinking, is this for a tag match at Backlash but against Owens and Orton? I think that's kind of what makes the most sense with then an Owens turn. I could definitely see that.
That works for me, mate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that might be the direction they're going in. And then if you have Orton being the one who turns, then you could always do Orton Cody down the line following the draft as well. So there's lots of options there. That would be my prediction. Matthew Daniel Leahy is saying the triple threat was predictable, but also fun. So ultimately good. But Jordy, I'm going to stick with you right now because I want to move on to talk about another story that was finished, because Drew McIntyre's story wasn't actually the only story which was finished last night. And we know about Cody Rhodes as well. We know that. But I want to just take a minute here to appreciate the fact that Bayley has finally had her WrestleMania moment. She has been somebody who has worked so hard, so tirelessly on the main roster since she was called up. She really, really has. She was a great babyface. She was a great heel. And now she's a great babyface once again. And she's always been somebody who's kind of been in the spotlight, but not had the spotlight directly on her. She's always tried to showcase somebody else. And it just felt like last night, and when she won the Royal Rumble as well, that Triple H just grabbed her and just pushed her into the spotlight and said, hey, Bayley, this is your moment. And her and Io Sky put on a banger of a bout last night, no doubt about it. But it was just really, really nice to see Bayley get, I mean, the moment in which she deserves, the moment in which every wrestler, young wrestler, dreams of. She's finally gotten it. What were your thoughts on this match, Jordy?
I couldn't have been happier, man. I really, really couldn't have been happier. Exactly echoing all the things you just said, man. She's one of the horsewomen. The fact that she's not had that Mania moment it was a crime. And the fact that Triple H on his first kind of year in full control just gave her it. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think them two things are a coincidence at all. And I'm just happy. And within the storyline, that was another great storyline building up. It really was. This wasn't just a match thrown in. Not that Rhea and Becky was thrown in. That isn't what I'm saying there at all. It was just obviously that came from the chamber, so so much less time. Like the moments when Bayley gave away that she knew what they were saying and she could understand the language that they were speaking. Just little twisting moments like that within this story that gave it that build up. And yeah, I don't think we're done. We're far from done. The Kabuki Warriors are still the tag titles, maybe with Io, but I think there's going to be a match for Dakota down the line. I think when you look at in terms of the highest, if you're looking at 2K, for example, you're looking at the highest skill rating in there, it's probably Asuka that's in the current damage control. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's a Bayley and Asuka match down the line as well in a singles competition for the title. And I want to see all of these matches, as well as people outside of damage control that can come in. And yeah, it's just so happy, man. It made me slightly worried because of how happy I was. And then going into the main event, I was like, I don't know. I don't like how happy I am. But they gave us Truth got his moment. I know it wasn't the same maybe level as winning a world title like Bayley had, but Truth got his moment. Bayley got her moment. Cody got his moment. It was just a very rewarding Mania. And they put on a banger right before the main event. And that is not an easy thing to do, but they did it.
Absolutely. No, I agree completely. And that goes again to what Soul said. Could, this be 2024 be just a rewarding year for professional wrestling? Because it was certainly a rewarding couple of nights for a lot of people on that roster. Oscar, Bayley, you mentioned. We haven't seen those two have we haven't seen a face Bayley take on a heel Oscar since NXT. And even then, Oscar would just come in and she was a bit more of a tweener. So I'd be delighted to see that dynamic again. I think that could be a lot of fun. That is for sure. But Soul, I want to bring you in right now because I want to ask you what your thoughts were on this World Women's Championship match.
I thought it was very, very good for Bayley and Io. Honestly, no complaints. Maybe why didn't Damage Control come out and do anything and do some hokey things and Bayley could have knocked them all off? I mean, I think that's going to make things a bit awkward. Is they going to now see Io as a weak link and kick her out, and then we get a tag team match with Bayley and Io versus Asuka and Kairi? Maybe that's something we could do. I thought everything was absolutely grand. Honestly, no problems with this match. Best women match of this year so far? I think so. I honestly think maybe it is the best women's match of the year we've had so far. It blows anything that AEW's done, blows anything that TNA's done. And I thought, Becky and Rhea was very good last night, but Bayley and Io, they just completely blew that out of the water. Honestly, if they want to run this back at Backlash, I would have no complaints.
Yeah, I mean, to see it again, that would be fun. I don't know. I almost just kind of want to see, and I agree with both you and Jordy. I don't think this story's done yet, but I just kind of almost want it to be for just a little while at least. Because I just want to see Bayley just move past Damage Control, move away from it. But I do agree with you. I don't see that happening just yet. But if I had the pencil, I'd maybe buck her in a couple of feuds, then return to the Damage Control feud. Maybe heading into the summer, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, something like that, I think could be very fun indeed. Number one Superfly is saying Bayley versus Io Sky was great, and I could not agree more. I think everyone's in agreement about that. Well, almost everyone. because we need to get you in chaos. We need to ask you what your thoughts were on Bayley versus Io Sky.
Yeah, no, I'm on board with Soul. It was a fun match. The only couple gripes I have about it. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Is it me or you?
This one I think might be me.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
Whoa.
How the tables have
I'll put you on
turned.
full screen and I'll figure myself out. Carry on.
Thank you very much. The tables have turned. The whole table. Anyway, yeah, the match was fun. The gripes about it was Bayley's entrance music. I'm sorry, but that wasn't it. Everyone's new entrance, like you said, this generic as hell. I don't know what they're trying to do, some metamorphosis thing, and now she's like some Egyptian goddess. It's I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it was going to the match. It was great. I think there's still some in there. I feel like Io, I think at least deserves a rematch in this. I don't think, as Soul said, obviously, they think that Io might be the weak link, get kicked out of Damage Control. I don't think she is the weak link. I think, if anything, there's more heat on probably Dakota Kai. Because yesterday she stood out from the group when they did their group entrance. She didn't dress up like how they were. She's the one that ate the pin last night as well. And obviously, she's the one that was going to side with Bayley, but obviously she turned her back on her. Like, there's more of a story with her, obviously, drawing Bayley and then obviously turning her back on her. But the strongest group is Io, Kairi, and Asuka. That's quite evident. So yeah, I feel like the Damage Control, after whatever happens with Dakota, is gonna that'll be Damage Control completely done. It would just be Kabuki Warriors, like as a threesome. So that's my call for that. But yeah, the match was great. The story behind it was amazing. Definitely had more heat than Rhea versus Becky. And yeah, like even when I was watching the press conference, and Triple H was saying like how everyone from the women's division filtered out and watched this whole match in Gorilla, because they were so proud of what Bayley has achieved, and yeah, she's obviously deserves this moment. So yeah, I'm happy. I hope she gets a lengthy title reign. Who's gonna beat her, I don't know. I just hope that she gets a very long, full, meaningful title reign than her last previous ones. But yeah, I'm happy for her. Let's see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. I've sorted out now my camera. I don't know what happened there. I mean, we really need to get sponsored by a Wi-Fi company or something, don't we, Chaos? We need to sort out these issues here at Wrestling Republic. Oh, it's the Wi-Fi internet just hates us. We have Clark in the comments saying, watch along was amazing. Thank you so much, Clark. So was off the air. What a great weekend. Wrestling Republic to the moon. Well, we're not going to steal that off Cameron Grimes, but I do agree with you. This year's going to be a big year, guys. You guys know this. Wrestling Republic, we want to be the fans' platform, elevating fans' voices, because let's just face it for a second, and this is a big point right here. The fans, Cody Rhodes confirmed it, changed this year's WrestleMania main event. In what other sport, in what other form of entertainment can the fans change the outcome, such a significant outcome of a story like that? In pretty much nothing. That is the power of the fans, and here at Wrestling Republic, we want to be the fans' voice of professional wrestling. And Clark saying the whole internet brought to you by Wrestling Republic.
Fair enough, I guess. It's on the cheap.
Yeah. But Matthew Daniel Leahy saying Dakota Kai going solo and changing rosters could be good for her. I agree, it certainly could be. But listen, guys. Let's just take a deep breath for a second, because we have 20 minutes left of this show. And I think that this time we need to just really try and break down what we saw in the main event last night. Because since 2020, we have seen Roman Reigns be the guy, the top guy, the champion, the undisputed champion, right? And I mean, I said it. I didn't even think he was going to lose last night. I thought it was going to carry on for another 18 months. But it is now over. And that's crazy to say. Roman Reigns doesn't have the belt anymore. What? I can't even comprehend it. I can barely remember a time when he didn't have that belt. The last time he didn't have that belt, we just gone into lockdown. Like, it's crazy, absolutely crazy to comprehend. It's the first time since, I think, January 3rd, 2020, either January 3rd or January 4th, 2020, that a Shield member hasn't been a champion in wrestling in some capacity, which is a wild statistic on its own. But what's that look for? Chaos?
No, I'm confused. I'm just wanted to double check the facts if that was the night. But yeah, ignore me. Never mind. You might be right. I can't believe it.
No, it is. I think it was John Moxley who was holding a New Japan belt. I believe.
Oh, okay. I thought you talk about promotion. Okay, fair enough. All right, cool.
Yeah. I think that was the last time when he lost it. I think that was what happened. But no, it is just, it's absolutely surreal to see that now. But this match, right? Let's just put away the jokes about Roman and Cody to the side for a second. This match, the term cinema is overused. I'm not going to use it, but it was just so overbooked. And I mean that in the best way. Something like this, I don't mind being overbooked. All the demons from the past of Roman Reigns just appeared to even the odds. The bloodline are always and always have been one step ahead of whoever their opponent is, and they were in this match. They were consistently one step ahead of Cody. Cody would be fighting, someone would come in from the bloodline, then somebody would come out and take out the person, but oh no, there's another member of the bloodline, and it just kept on going until it didn't, because there was enough legends, there was enough demons from the past of Roman Reigns that just, it evened the odds. And in the end, chaos, exactly what you said was going to happen, happened. The third crossroads, Cody Rhodes hit it. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I'm doing The Rock for a second. Look at that. Look at those goosebumps on my arm. Truly, I mean, when that hand went down, I just feel like, genuinely, you can see my reaction on the video. For a few seconds, I didn't know how to react because I was in such shock. This is a moment which I guess we kind of just didn't think would happen. We couldn't comprehend what it would look like, what someone other than Roman holding that championship would look like. It was just so surreal. He then got the belt, the locker room emptied out. People were carrying him on his shoulders. He thanked everybody. He thanked Triple H. He thanked Bruce Pritchard. It was just such a heartfelt moment. Brandy Rhodes, his wife, was there with him as well. He gave the title to his mother, and she finally got to feel the WWE Championship. It was just such a good feel-good moment. I'd actually put this above Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. I'd actually say that this was the most feel-good moment in the history of WrestleMania. I really would go that far. And then he walked backstage, and Nick Khan, Bruce Pritchard, and Triple H gave to him the watch which his father pawned. Dusty Rhodes pawned to let Cody and his sister go to acting school. And he did that. He always said to Cody, he said, oh, when you grow up and become a wrestler, when you win the title, I'll give you this watch, I'll do this. And then Dusty got older, and he, the money from when he was younger, it didn't last. He was hurt. He didn't want his son to become a wrestler anymore. He didn't want that. And he said, hey, you go and pursue acting. I'll pay for it. And Cody was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to do that. But he didn't say that in order to pay for that school, he had to sell that watch. And that story in itself, it's a really sad story that he had to pawn like his most prized possession for Cody to be able to go to acting school. And then ultimately, him and his sister didn't make it in acting like so many people do. It's such a hard industry to get into, but they did. He did end up going into professional wrestling. And when Dusty passed away, he went and looked for the watch, and he found out it was pawned. And Nick Khan had this idea a little while ago. Bruce Pritchard tracked it down, and then he was gifted to him last night. And I mean, on just so many levels, it's like genuinely like just so emotional seeing like how much this meant to Cody Rhodes, and just the story with so many different layers to it. It's going to be different now. It really, really will be. It feels weird to say that Roman's not champion, but this is why we love professional wrestling. This is the story which, we all want to see. Chaos, what are your thoughts?
There's three things or three moments in my time of watching, being a wrestling fan, that every time I replay it, well, I always get goosebumps. First one is when Eddie Guerrero won the title at No Way Out against Brock Lesnar. The second is when Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. This is definitely something. When Cody hit that third crossroads and got 1-2-3, after all the trials and tribulations and the whole story going into it, this will definitely, for as long as every time I replay it, this will give me goosebumps. And the fact that we've been through this crazy ride. We always claim about long-term storytelling, and obviously we get that in certain parts in AEW and whatnot. But this, I'm not going to use cinema. This is just the art of storytelling at its finest. Yeah. And to see it all culminate, I thought I was ready to accept it last year. I was ready at the time. I was like, as much as I love my Tribal Chief, it is the stars are aligned. It's going to happen, and it didn't. I was like, cool. I'm happy. We get another however long to keep it rolling. And this year, again, I was also ready. I was ready to accept that this is this time. If we got 3 years, it's all good. And when it happened, I was just like, oh, good. It's bittersweet, as Jordy put it earlier before we became. It was a bittersweet situation. I'm just happy to be alive in this era, or this new change of it. But yeah, like from beginning to end, I mean, there was so much. I can't remember a match that had so much riding on it. It could have went either way. It was expecting craziness. Like I said, Saturday Avengers Infinity War. Tonight was the end game. It was all about how they're going to tell it and how it's going to land. And I feel like, it did absolute perfection. This is WWE at its finest. This is better than Austin Rock at WrestleMania 17. This is better than anything before it. This is truly was something that you were like. There's so many moments in there you remember. Like obviously, and everyone thinks obviously there was 3 themes that came from that was all about this throughout even the show, which was obsession and greed, or obsession and revenge. Obviously we saw that with Drew. He got his moment, but he was so obsessed with Punk, he lost everything. Roman had everything in his hands. He saw Seth, which I ain't gonna lie, I thought John Moxley was gonna come out. Everyone thought that. I thought, what did they actually pull this off? But at the time, I didn't really think about like why is he wearing the Shield gear. But then when you actually sit back and read, like, just think about it, he knows how to get to Roman for him to fall. Obviously, he's still obsessed about. Obviously betrayed him when it was the breakup of the Shield, and he still holds a grudge in that. And because of that, that's caused him to lose everything. And like you just don't get that kind of story in wrestling anymore, and it's just so amazing to see that and experience it. You could ramble about this for I might have to do an episode on the table about this, but all I can say is I'm happy about it. I'm excited for Monday. I'm excited for Friday. I'm excited for everything in the future. And the thing is, I don't even want to predict any of it. I just want to enjoy it and just enjoy the ride. That's
fair enough. Chaos. I mean, you just said it. Seth Rollins said to him in February, he said, "Cody Rhodes, I'm going to be your Shield," and he really was the Shield. So I want to get your thoughts up next. What did you think about this?
I've not been a wrestling fan as long as you guys. I was 2019, and the champions at that point for the WWE were Kofi and Seth. The ways things went on, there was some couple of changes that were for the better, not some, happened. But throughout that entire time, it would then go into the pandemic, and Roman would come back. And this was really my first exposure to Roman Reigns. I knew he was there with the whole big dog and the dog feud with Baron Corbin, or King Corbin at the time. But I from what I heard from the internet, this was a guy who was really hated and not liked, and I was really introduced to him as the tribal chief, and I thought, you know what, I kind of get behind this guy. I like it. I'm really enjoying it. That whole Thunderdome era, the feud with Jay, Love, the stuff he did with the Fiend, with Kevin Owens and stuff like that was good. Edge and Bryan at WrestleMania with the fans coming back as well. Edge and Cena. And, there was many points I was always critical of the Bloodline story because I feel like there was always a perfect time to end it. And you just don't know where the future could go. An injury could happen. Someone could leave the company and get fired, and then course corrections. Last year at WrestleMania, I wanted to see Cody win because I wanted to see it win, but I didn't have the feeling for it. This year, I wanted to see it end, but I had the feeling behind it. I wanted to see it because I was passionate about it. Throughout the match itself, I thought this match was better than last year's with Cody and Roman. I thought this match was exceptionally better. I loved it more. People going about all the overbooking and stuff like that, but it had connections. Jimmy came out and Jay stopped him. That's a connection. Solo came out, Cena stopped him. That's a connection. Rock came out and stopped Cena. That's a connection. Undertaker stopped Rock. That's a connection because Undertaker was his last loss was because of Roman at WrestleMania. Every callback was great, and there were so many stories finished. But I think there was a bigger story than Roman's and the Tribal Chief and Cody's that was finished. An 11-year-long story, I think, was finished last night. And that was the story of the redemption of Seth Rollins. You go back and think about it. This all happened because of Seth. They were the group of the Shield, and then the whole chair incident. That essentially birthed the Tribal Chief. Roman was thrust into a spotlight that he wasn't ready for. He became bitter. He went away and came back as the Tribal Chief. Seth's whole thing was he has been defined by that moment. When he's going to have a Hall of Fame entry, that will be in the video package. That's something that everyone's going to mention about. He went on to do things as the architect, had the heist of the century, screwed over Roman again, and leaned more bitterness and revenge from Roman's point of view. Would continue on. He would get injured. Roman would take his title. Seth would then take his title and lead to Moxley cashing in Money in the Bank. More bitterness and revenge. It would continue on with the triple threat at Battlegrounds. And then more and more, Seth would eventually become the Beast Slayer and hunt Brock Lesnar, someone who's had a lot of rivalry with Roman and would be able to defeat him when Roman couldn't at certain occasions. Would have a feud with the Fiend that maybe brought that sense of I'm not good enough within Seth. We would become the Monday Night Messiah. And then eventually he would become Seth freaking Rollins, which is the version where he is now, which I think is his true self, which is just laid back and not taking things as seriously. But he was always defined about that chair incident with the Shield breaking up. And I've seen people think, why was the Shield theme used last night? Now, I honestly did think Moxley came back. I thought some agreement had came back and it was really going to be an absolute mental moment. But look at the Royal Rumble when Seth used that theme again. It was to get in Roman's head and to get him pissed. Because when that theme hit and he was looking down the ropes and he looked up at Royal Rumble, you could tell something had switched in his head. And from a storyline point of view, Roman could have easily retained his title last night if he struck Cody with the chair. He didn't strike Cody. He went straight for Seth because his hatred for Seth outweighs anything. I honestly think his hatred for Seth outweighs him leading the bloodline. It outweighs him being tribal chief. It outweighs him being the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. This man hates Seth so much that I honestly think he would be happy to break his own body in any way he can just to inflict the most amount of pain he could on Seth Rollins. And this was Cody finished the story. So Roman Reigns is probably going to end up going through a self-reflecting journey of getting kicked out of the bloodline and not being up to his family's standards with The Rock. But Seth Rollins finished his arc tonight.
Yeah.
The arc that was started back in 2014 when he betrayed his brothers. He is now redeemed because he took the brunt of his actions. He paid for his actions that he did all those years ago to help somebody else finish their story.
You are right. You are right indeed. It was a beautiful moment, and you put that beautifully, Sol. It really, really did. I mean, in the layers to this, it's fantastic. Jordy, I want to get your thoughts, though. What did you think? Now, Cody is the new champion.
I'm happy as a person. I'm happy as a fan. I just think it was everything. I said in our chat last night, I just felt like a kid again, and I think that's what it is all about. I think you can go back and look at it, and you can probably poke holes in it, and everyone can. You always can with wrestling, but I don't think that it's hard to do that with wrestling, because especially something like WrestleMania, the main event of WrestleMania, that's supposed to be experienced live and in person, and as it happens, you can't replicate the feeling of it happening live or watching it for the first time because of the shocks and things like that. So I think it's tricky when you do that. Going in, I always said this was going to be something like a Marvel movie, a superhero movie. When I go to watch Endgame, Infinity War, I'm not going to watch a Shawshank Redemption. You know, I'm not going to watch an Oscar winner. That's not what I'm going to watch. Yeah, Endgame was the most overbooked thing you'll ever have seen. Literally every hero came back, and that's what I wanted. So it delivered in every way for me. I love the actual thought that the Undertaker was probably lying under the ring the whole time. That's genuinely hilarious. But yeah, exactly what Soul said. The connections, just seeing Cena and The Rock in the ring. I want to see them fight again now. And all it took was them to stand face to face. And the last time we saw them, they were hugging on SmackDown. But yeah, seeing everyone kind of come down in the ring at the end, then seeing it on that personal level, like you said, these are the little reasons as well why I started to believe more and more that Cody was going to win this title. It was a little thing, like I was hearing that he'd bought all the makeup team a load of gifts. He'd bought the crew a load of presents and stuff like this, because there was a clip that WWE, it wasn't rumors, like WWE uploaded a clip of Punk eating some of the fruit basket and giving it a review. It was just a silly upload, but Cody had bought them it. And I thought, that's something that a new champion would do, as a giving back to everyone that's helped him get there. I noticed all the letters on his boots. It was these little things that, again, it was blind optimism at the time, but I was thinking all these little things are making me think these are the type of thing I would do if I knew I was going to lift the belt tonight, because you're going to memorize these moments. And the fact that they were all there with him, it was a great match. It was one of the, I think, looking back, going to be one of the best Manias I've certainly witnessed live and watched it. And just, there's not many matches I can poke holes in. And then to top all of them, it's not an easy task, man. And they did it. So yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Absolutely. No, it really is one of those moments. You said it perfectly. It makes you just feel like a kid again. And that is, I mean, the
Facts.
best, I always say it, story is the most important thing in wrestling. And suspending your disbelief is the best part. And that did that. This did it.
100%,
Yeah.
mate. That, as soon as I hear that gong, I was just like, oh my God, like it's happening. Like, it was crazy. And yeah, you could say, oh, it should have been the shatter. Well, who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Am I right to say that this pay-per-view is the first in Wrestling Republic's history to get 5 stars?
No.
No? Damn it. All right, fair enough. My bad.
I'll tell you what,
Chaos,
Chaos,
I think.
you called the free Cody Crossroads thing. You know, I was playing
Yes.
2K earlier, and you know what Cody's super finisher is? Free
Yep.
Crossroads.
Man,
Yeah.
you know about it, don't you, bro?
I unfortunately do know about it when Chaos cheated and used it against me. But on that note, guys, please like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Give us a cheeky 5 stars on Spotify. Support us on all platforms. We're here every day. We love to hear your thoughts. Always check them in the comments, and we will always share them. We are providing a platform by the fans for the fans. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Jordy. Thank you, Chaos. Thank you, Soul. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the Raw After Mania review.